Hey guys, what's up? This is the second part of my any percent tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at Wessing and the red rupee trick and all its little backup strategies. I said this before, but again, I don't want to be focusing too much on movement. That's something you can learn just by watching other players, and my movement isn't the greatest anyway, so I'm more going to be breaking down each trick and trying to give as much information as possible. If there's something you think I left out, make sure to tell me and I'll try to answer it in a comment or even in a video. So again, I said don't focus too much on movement, but once you escape the forest, you just go all the way down here, and the first trick that's going to happen is obtaining the red rupee on the side of the end of this little river. Now, you guys are probably wondering what that looks like, so here it is first, so you guys have an idea. Okay, so for this trick, I'm not going to actually have live commentary just because I feel it'd be easier to show it slowed down and break down all the movements with inputs on the screen. So first up, the first thing you want to be doing for this trick is actually just going to the right side of the river. You need to be slashing and recoiling off the left, so naturally heading to the right side is the first important thing. From there, you want to go and turn around and face forward and Z-target like you just saw. And after that, as you're heading towards the bottom of the waterfall, you want to hit left, press A, and hold left the rest of the way, and mash B as quickly as you can. From there, you should slash your sword, and again, if you're holding left, you'll most likely get the rupee. The reason I'm emphasizing holding left is because holding left kind of corrects even the dodgiest of angles, so it's worth doing. And the reason I'm saying target right here is if you didn't target, it's very likely that the Octorok would actually hit you as you're doing the trick. So those are two things to keep in mind. This trick isn't too hard as long as you do the setup and just practice it. It's not too difficult. Give it a try, and soon you'll find you're getting it every single time. Okay, so you just saw red rupee explained in a lot of detail, and if that wasn't enough detail, just leave me a comment below and I'll make sure to clarify things. But now I'm going to show you some of the backup strategies if you miss red rupee, and I want to just say that it's worth mentioning that if you go for these backup strategies, you waste your kind of precious daylight that you're using to get to Kakariko. And if you get to Kakariko at nighttime, there's no chickens for you to get the bottle. So by doing these strategies, you waste a bit of your time to go west to Kakariko or backwalk. I don't even think it's possible to backwalk if you use these strategies. So my personal recommendation would be to just practice the red rupee strat, since it's not too hard and you can get it super consistent, as opposed to using them. But here are the strategies and I'll explain how they work. Okay, so the first strategy is insanely easy. It just makes you lose a bit of time for daylight. Just walk over to the left here and you pick up the rupee, and that's it. You got it. That's simple. Another backup method worth experimenting is this little side hop strat where you move over to this area, then you side hop once to the left. Sometimes you can get the red rupee, but it's sort of difficult to line up there. And again, personally, I find doing the original strategy is a lot easier and more consistent than any of these backups, but it's worth a shot, and if you like it, then go for it. Another method you could try is the jump slash method, where you kind of line up in the center and then do a late jump slash so you don't kind of hit that and recoil backwards. It's kind of hard to do the timing to make sure you don't mess up the jump slash, but some people like this trick, and it's worth giving it a try if you do miss the red rupee. Okay, so before I begin explaining what Wessing and what ESS position is and all that stuff, I just wanted to say, after you've gotten the red rupee, you're going to head down this waterfall, and there's one way to just normally go down it like you're seeing right now, which would be what you would have to do if you missed a rupee, but alternatively you could turn around and recoil back and hit up, and you move a lot faster. Now there's an even faster way after that I'm going to explain once I explain what Wessing is, because you won't be able to do it unless you know. But how to do what you're seeing now is basically you turn around. Okay, what you're doing is you're turning around, you're pressing B as Link starts to drop, and then you're Z targeting and hitting like up, up, up on your control stick pretty fast. Not up and down, not anything like that, just up, up, up over and over again. It looks like this. Oops, okay, I need to actually like turn around, Z target, up, 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 and there you go. This can be even improved by actually Wessing out of it, which I'll show later, but yeah, up, 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 and then get out of there. So now on to ESS position. Okay, so in order to do a Wess, you need to be holding what's called ESS position, and what you're seeing on screen right now is what it would look like if you were to do it just on your own, like on the ground. It's basically a slight turn where the camera and Link's body doesn't move except for rotating. And to do that, you just slightly push to the right, left, up, or down. In this case, we're seeing right and left. Now, this position can be hard to maintain because it can kind of slip around, so I'm actually going to show you a video of how I hold it. But basically, the reason this works is because it allows Link to maintain his speed, and it's what you would need to do when you're doing either a Hess or a Wess. So again, ESS right, hold to the right, and kind of just practice this. Anyway, here is the controller that I use, and this is I'm going to show you how I hold the ESS position and keep it stable. What I like to do is take my thumb and then while resting just kind of push inwards like this, and that way I can get a lot of stability. Here would be left ESS, again moving it in, but this way like I've got the angle and I don't have to do anything like this where I'm kind of moving like out of place. I'm just resting my thumb and pushing a bit in, and that way I can have a really steady position and not drop the Wess along the way. So I hope that's helpful. One final thing before we get started showing Wess tricks. The Wess actually isn't mandatory, and if you really are struggling with it, you could just simply backwalk to the Kakariko as you're seeing now. The only disadvantage is you have to talk to the owl that's in the way, and when you're super sliding, you won't have to talk to it, so that uses up like a decent amount of time. But again, if you're struggling, just do what you're seeing on screen, and it's not a mandatory trick. Hope that's helpful. Okay, so now that you've seen how S position works and how to hold it and stuff, here's the first and my preferred method of how to Wess to Kakariko. Okay guys, so you just saw the first Wess on screen, and you're probably all super amazed at how Link can slide all the way over there, but I'm going to break down exactly why that worked. So the first thing I'm going to say before I show you any of the kind of stuff on screen is three things kind of were important there. The first was getting the angle, the second was getting into position, and then jump slashing and holding ESS all the way. So if at any point I had dropped ESS in that example, the sliding would have stopped, so just keep that in mind. So what's happening? Well, first you're going to enter this little area, and while holding down, you're going to roll once, and then side hop. Oops, that's weird, I didn't get the sign. If you do that, just go in here, and then come right back out. So again, you're holding down as you enter this, you turn around, you roll once, you side hop twice, and then you roll, and now you've got your angle. So that's the first part of the trick, angle, but now you need position. So there's two ways to get the position. One way you could do that's pretty quick is just roll forward, and if you do that, it can work. It's a good kind of setup. However, it's not the most precise, and if you were to do a different setup, like going in, like say, just watch me do this, like all the kind of motions early on affect whether that roll will work. So like here, the roll isn't in the same place. Like it might still work, but it's not a guarantee. It is working by irony, but like it doesn't work all the time. So the thing that I suggest is lining up with the texture. So you see all this like kind of green stuff around Link's face and head. Where it ends, like just above Link's head, that's where you want to do the jump slash. And the reason I recommend doing that is because that's just like something you can find quicker and more reliably, because if you were out of the way, like say you were too far forward, like here, you just jump slash into the loading zone. And say you were too far to the right, like here, you would just slash and miss. Plus, the third part of it, the jump slash, can also screw you up if you don't do a quick draw. What's a quick draw? Well, a quick draw is basically pressing B and A really quickly so that you do the jump slash in one quick motion. The upside of this is also that like you won't get out of position, and that's what makes this really useful for this trick. But if you mess up your quick draw and you thrust or something like that, this is where the texture again comes in handy, because you can kind of side hop to the right and then like walk forward back up to the texture and just do the same thing. Just do a regular jump slash into the wall while holding S position. So that's useful. If you are doing the roll, for example, again, and you see you're too far forward, again, that side hop to the right is really useful as a kind of quick like recalibration tool, because you don't want to end up in this position where you're out in the water and having to try the whole setup again. So once more, roll down, side up to the right twice, roll and then target and untarget, then get into position, and mess up, and then re-get into position, and there you go. So that's everything for this trick. One other thing I'm just thinking of saying, I'm going to say it in both, is when you have Wess and you're holding it, you're holding Z target the whole way. However, if you were to let go of Z target, Link's body would rotate, and that's useful to you because at a certain point you want to kind of make it up the stairs as quickly as possible. So usually, if you can see that little fence in the top corner, around the time I see this, shortly after I let go of ESS, and Link's body rotates, and then I target again and it locks into position again. So that's just something to kind of get up the stairs quicker. Not a huge deal. Focus on the Wess for now, but something I figured I would add. On to the next Wess. Okay guys, so you just saw the final method of Wessing that I'm going to show you in this tutorial. There are actually two other methods, and the reason I'm not including them is pretty simple. The first method, I'm sure you've seen Cosmo use it before. It's a little bit faster, kind of involves like similar stuff to the first Wess that I showed you. That's just really, really hard and only a second faster than the first Wess that I showed you. Not even Cosmo used it in his world record video. I don't think it's worth beginners learning. I just don't at all. I think everyone would agree. If it's only a second faster, it's worth learning these methods first and then moving on to that if you really want it. And even still, I feel it's like for the second it saves, it's worth having the consistency to use the other Wess methods, even if they're just a bit slower, until you move like into like world record paces, because again, even Cosmo with the world record didn't use that method. And the second method is the fence Wess, which is just dated as hell, hard to retry, and not practical to use in this category. So I'm not covering those two on purpose. They're just bad, in my opinion, especially fence Wess. Anyway, the method you just saw, all you're doing is you're turning around. I should make that save state again, because I don't want it to be night. You're going through here, and you're just going to back walk all the way over there. If you're on an emulator, you'll see the sign unload like that, and that's when you know you're kind of close to turn around, but that doesn't apply to other systems because it unloads way, way quicker on VC, so can't really use that. Anyway, then you line up with this kind of texture, like the edge of the white or so, and you hold Z, slash your sword twice with vertical slashes, then you're going to side hop, press B, and hold while holding side hop, and as you press B, you're going to hold S position and then tap Z a few times to change your angle, and it looks like that. This trick is really, you know how I was criticizing the fence Wess? This trick is like the opposite of that. If you don't know how to do a Wess trick, learn this one first, because this is so easy to retry. Say I just dropped Wess there, just roll all the way back, go there, try it again. Oh no, I messed up again. Like, get back into position, slash again, and just fix it. Like, it's so easy to recover. Like, the method I showed you first is good too, because it's the fastest, and it actually, like, you can just go right back in the loading zone and lose a few seconds, but this is like the ultimate in noob strats, even though it's quite fast. Like, for a while this was like the fastest Wess, so don't get me wrong, but it's way faster than fence Wess. It's a lot easier, it's kind of fun to do, it's not super precise, you just need to kind of recoil from that thing. So that's about it. It's not too hard of a trick, and I say not too hard, but like, you're still going to mess it up a ton when you first try. But I think it's a fairly good trick to learn if you want to learn how to do Wess stuff. The only other thing I can say is, again, when you're around here, I said it before, and you can see the fence area there. If you let go of Z, Link will rotate, and then if you retarget, he'll stay the same direction. Now I'm going to show you that waterfall stuff, so I hope that was helpful, and I hope you learned more about how to Wess. Okay, so now that you've seen Wess explained, going back to the whole waterfall trick, you're doing the exact same stuff to Wess out of it, except like as you were before, basically, you know, turning around, hitting B to recoil, holding Z and hitting up, 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 except near the end of that up, up, up thing, you are holding S position to the right, and still holding Z, and you'll Wess out of it like this. Ah, okay, I dropped it, but like it was gonna go through. So again, just holding, turning around, hitting it, and then sliding out. It's kind of tricky. It actually takes a bit of practice. If I had a tip for it, I'd say like don't overhit up, because you don't want to keep like you want to be kind of just coming out of the water as you're holding S position. It's a good thing to practice on emulator if you have emulator set up, but it's a lot cooler, so I would learn it if I were you, because it's a fun trick. Alright, so that basically is the end of the video, and I hope this was useful to you guys, and I hope you'll watch the other videos. And if there's something you want me to cover that I haven't covered here, I'd happily do it. So just leave it all in the comments below, and subscribe and do whatever else you want, and thanks a lot for watching, guys.